If you want to pump your body and expand your mind, there's only one place to go. Mind Pump. Mind Pump with your hosts, Sal DiStefano, Adam Schaefer, and Justin Andrews.
In this brand new episode of Mind Pump,
it smells new.
We talk all about fitness and health, and in the first 48 minutes, we do our introductory conversation. Here's what we covered throughout the episode. We start out by talking about our live event at Manhattan Beach in Los Angeles. We had an amazing time with everybody. Thank you so much for showing up and giving us your support. We are doing more of these live events soon. We're opening them up. They sell out like crazy. We have one July 12th in San Francisco, one July 20th in Denver, and one July 26th in Seattle. They are selling out fast. If you want to book one of these, you want to meet us in person and watch a live.
We want to see you in person.
Yeah, watch the live event. Go to mindpumplive.com. Then I talk about Tero. He's the CEO of Four Sigmatic. Apparently, for 30 to 40 minutes out of every day, he sleeps on a bed of nails. He's kind of
hardcore,
eccentric guy. Anyway, Four Sigmatic makes amazing supplements out of mushrooms. These are medicinal, functional mushrooms. My favorite is cordyceps. I use it pre-workout when I'm going to do long and grueling workouts. Doug likes to use reishi for relaxation and sleep in the evening. Chaga, great adaptogen, great supplement to help your body deal with stress. Anyway, you can go on their website, foursigmatic.com. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/mindpump and get 15% off your entire order. Then we talked about the Fair Oaks company, the dairy company investigation. They got caught doing some pretty bad things to their cows.
Yeah, Fair Life. They're partnering with Coca-Cola.
That's right. Anyway, there's a lot of controversy around that. We have a great discussion around that one. Then we talked about Organifi, the company that we work with that makes organic supplements. In 2018, they were named one of the best places to work by Fortune magazine, and they do make all organic supplements, including protein powders. If you go to Organifi.com/mindpump and use the code mindpump, you'll get 20% off. Then we talked about the UFC fight that's going to be happening between Justin
It's
Bieber
not going to be happening.
and Tom Cruise. I hope Tom Cruise whoops his booty. I guess space is officially open for business. They're selling tickets now.
Let's go.
I brought up a study on exercise and mental health. This one's groundbreaking. And then I brought up another study on the nervous system. Apparently, they've identified a mechanism in which the nervous system can communicate to future generations. That's kind of weird. Then we get into the fitness portion of this episode. The first question is, how do we feel about 1-rep maxes for both ourselves and our clients? Are there any benefits to testing your max lifts out? The next question, what are the benefits of having small meals throughout the day versus large meals? What's better, large infrequent meals or small frequent meals? Next question, what does it mean to be a strong person? We're not talking about the physical aspects of strength, but just strength in general. What does that mean to us? And the final question, how would we suggest people find their purpose in life? Apparently, we're experts on everything now.
We just answer everything.
So we talk all about purpose in that part of this episode. Also, this month, MAPS Strong, one of our most effective muscle building, metabolism boosting programs, is 50% off. Now, this, if you want to develop incredible back, so you want back strength, if you want to be able to do odd lifts, if you want real work capacity, if you want a workout that's going to speed up your metabolism and burn a lot of calories, this particular program is perfect. It's called MAPS Strong. We wrote this program with world's strongest man competitor, Robert Oberst. It is now one of my favorite programs, and it's turning out to be one of our best sellers. We put it as 50% off. Here's what you do. Go to mapsstrong.com, MAPSSTRONG.com, and use the code STRONG50, STRONG50 for the discount. Again, if you want to boost your metabolism and build muscle, especially in your posterior chain, your glutes and your back,
get yoked.
MAPS Strong is the program to get.
T-shirt time!
And it's T-shirt time.
Oh, shit, Doug. You know it's my favorite time of the week.
Yeehaw.
You got excited.
He was like twitching there. Yeah.
So we had quite a few reviews this week. The winners for iTunes, we have Stewie Q, Creek Paddle, Jacob Susky, SF Yang. For Facebook, Rich DeLong, Clay Lawyer, James Zalaki, Amelia Ray McPeak, Stephen Latimer, and Brandon Rabbit. All of you are winners. Send the name I just read to iTunes at mindpumpmedia.com. Send your shirt size, your shipping address, and include your Instagram handle, and we'll get that shirt right out to you.
Am I on there? Bring it, Justin.
Hey, are you on, Sal?
Yep.
Do you want to start the show today?
Yep, it's good.
Let's
We're
do
good,
it.
Adam.
It's on.
Your turn, Adam.
No.
Yeah, bring it, Adam.
I didn't turn my synthesizer on yet.
Your synthesizer.
Yeah, we need that
Synthesizer.
auto-tune.
You know what's happening to me right now? That's weird.
What?
It's not weird. Well, maybe
Is
it's
it
weird
happening
for me.
in your crotch?
It's not that,
Okay.
but that's something else, Justin. We'll talk
Good.
about that later. It's when I look at my phone for like longer than a minute, and then I look up, I can't see shit as well.
Uh-oh.
It takes me a second to refocus.
Oh, God.
Them old man eyes.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Old man eyes.
Old man eyes can't fucking see.
Yes, I do the sound.
It's so blurry.
Yeah.
How'd you guys like Manhattan?
Oh, what a great that was one of our. I think that was one of our best ones.
I think it's not even close.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot better. I think a couple things. One, this was the first time we got a chance to mingle first. That seemed to relax us and the audience, right? I mean, I was a little nervous about that too. I told Taylor, I was like, dude, I don't know if I like us hanging out before. I think I'd rather us hang out afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was concerned on what that would look like. But I think it played out a lot
It's
better.
starting to mirror more of like the show. Like you're showing up and you're watching a live Mind Pump show almost. You know what I'm saying? It's got that vibe is what I felt
It's
when I was
getting there.
Yeah. What always blows me away about these events is when you meet people, I am never prepared. As much as I think I'm prepared, I'm never ready to hear some of the stories that I end up hearing. There was one lady who had got diagnosed with cancer, and as she was treating herself, or as she was coming out of the depression that she got from the diagnosis, part of her success, she said, was listening to us on the podcast, which is like so humbling to hear.
So Mind Pump cures cancer is what you're saying?
No,
You're not saying
not at all saying that. Jeez, Adam. No, but it was very, very touching. Then there was that guy who, when he raised his hand and talked about his divorce with his kids and how, he appreciated me talking about that on the show, and he started tearing up. Whew, I was close, bro. I almost lost it on stage, dude.
I know. He was the first guy I ran into, and he almost got me.
Yeah.
We got a little bit choked up together there for a second, and I'm like, not right now, man.
No, it was awesome, dude. And then there was those giants that were there. Those two guys that
there
were
was
like
4 actually.
just like
dwarf
they're all like
guys.
6'8".
yeah.
I'm like, hold on. Did you see the picture we took with them?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm not gonna post it. You're too damn big.
I know.
Talking shit to me
Yeah.
about swimming. Yes, you will beat me at swimming probably.
They just have
All
to
they
land
got to
the
do
pool.
is like 2 strokes, and
Yeah.
then they're already on the other
Yeah.
As
side.
soon as they just lay down.
I said, I'm talking shit to Ben Greenfield. I feel like he's in my class.
Yeah.
Like these dudes were like a good 6 inches taller than I was.
Yeah, no, it was such a good time, man. And then I'm really happy that we stayed longer and just hung out, all of us. I really enjoyed that. We got the whole everybody together, had a great time with everybody. Played some volleyball. That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good thing we let Justin's team win, Adam. I felt like he
here
needed
it
more
comes.
confidence.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even want to talk.
You didn't want to talk about it. It was salty because
Yeah.
I was laying it down out there, man. It was getting hot.
Courtney and I were mad for like the next 48 hours.
Yeah, I
dude.
didn't get any sex after that,
Yeah.
but
Oh, really?
She's competitive like I am.
was
dude.
talking mad
It was-
shit.
That was serious for her and I, dude. I could see it in her. She was
yeah,
right away.
we were even down a man.
First serve. First serve.
destroyed you guys.
Yeah, you guys did get us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Valenzuelas and then one of the
Or
Andrews.
Team Bad Guys. Is that where we were? me first in the Venezuelas.
Yeah,
I like
Cheesecake
that one.
Andrews and the Venezuelas.
You had 3 real athletes, bro. All 3 athletes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had Courtney played. You
No,
know, she played like all through high school.
I got him.
and then-
I did decent.
Sal and Doug average out to like a 1.
Okay.
You know what
No,
I'm saying?
no,
Like,
no.
Well, then
this
that
is-
was even.
On
You got
scale
the
of 1
three.
to 5 athletic abilities, like together.
I almost
they-
You
picked
guys have more coverage.
I almost
though.
used Doug. I almost picked him up and used him to hit that. You know what I mean? Like just combine our forces. Grab him by his legs.
That would have been a good move. That would
Yeah.
have been strategy.
That was a fun game though, but everybody got a little sunburn. Justin was
Yeah.
looking a little pink out there.
I had sand all in my chote. That's what happens when you dive for everything and
Yeah.
you try with effort.
That was
you know?
my first time staying at that beach. So I've been up and down the coast right there, but I had never stayed on Manhattan Beach or where Marina Del Rey or whatever.
Was that where
Yeah,
that was?
Marina Del Rey area.
Right, that whole area is considered Manhattan Beach, right?
We ended up going
It was a
to
nice beach.
We ended up going to Venice Beach, and I had never, because I've been to Venice Beach at least 6 times, because Muscle Beach is there and Gold's, and so I've always excited to go down there, but I'd never been to the canals, the Venice canals. I think that's what they're
Oh
called.
yeah,
Bro,
Yeah.
I know why they call it Venice now.
I know. It looks just like Venice.
I had no idea they even
Mind-blowing.
existed. Have you ever been there?
I have not. When you guys sent the pictures, I did not know that existed there.
It's
Yeah.
literally houses on like canals, like in Venice, and
Yeah.
you could take
These
a boat.
bridges that you can get to like your neighbor's house.
I'm assuming
That's
it's
about
a very small area though, because
Yeah.
I've been to Venice a bunch of times and I didn't
it.
even know
like
that
2
existed.
blocks or something. Yeah, it's like not
Something
that many.
small, yeah, something small like that.
How did you guys find it? Did you just come across it?
We were walking.
We were walking back.
Yeah, we were walking from Venice back to where we were staying, and which, by the way, we found a vortex.
Oh my god, it was like the Bermuda Triangle of parking lots.
Yeah. We found there's a few vortexes on Earth, wormholes, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
We found one of them. So I'll tell you that story in a second.
Yeah, it was the fabric of reality had just bended.
It did, but we walked through the canals to get to our place because Courtney was on the map, and luckily she was navigating. but we were
She
able to
had
find
a
way.
map though,
Yeah.
so that's let's not forget that.
And Muscle Beach is getting renovated apparently, so there were no waits.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so apparently they're renovating the whole thing, but then they had the back area with the rings and the ropes and shit. Mm-hmm. So of course Jessica's like, "Oh, it's a rope. Let me show
she's
off."
like
So
a little
she's
spider,
dude. She's like whoop, 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 climbing that thing and flipping upside down, and there was a lady watching, giving her an applause every time
She's
she
getting
do
a
something.
crowd, like
Oh, yeah?
yeah, getting applause.
Afterwards, she was like, "Should I have done that?" She got a little insecure. I'm like, "Babe, you
No,
fucking,
it was awesome.
You climbed the rope with just your arms. Yes, you should have done that. Makes me look good. Keep doing it." No, so here's the vortex story, right? So this is a true story, by the way. I'm not going to embellish any of
I
this.
know.
This is
Please.
100% true.
I'll make sure it's accurate.
Doug and Justin were there. Okay, so we get an Airbnb. We get this apartment that is it's a decent place, and it's kind of overlooking the ocean a little bit, but it's a massive complex. So we get there. The guy's like, "I'll meet you out in the parking lot, in the garage, I should say, and I'll walk you to the right elevator and then take you to the place." So we do that or whatever. We get up there.
There's multiple elevators.
Yeah,
to
thanks.
different places.
We didn't know this. So we get up to the room, everybody's, unpacking, and we're like, we should go get some water from the grocery store real quick so that we have water in the place. And then after we come back, after we get the water, then we'll go and meet up with you guys at your place because you guys were on the beach and we're going to hang out all day, right? So Doug, Justin, and I walk out, get in the elevator, go down, and apparently there's 2 levels where there's parking garages. So we went into one level. We get out and we walk around and we're like, where are we?
We're
This
just
is-
not seeing it at all.
This is not the car was supposed to be right here. It's nowhere to be found. We walked all the way around it, couldn't figure it out. Go back to the elevator and I'm like, oh wait, there's another level. Maybe it's on this other level. So we go to another level. Walking around, and I'm hitting the key to try and make the car honk or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing. Can't hear anything. We're walking. We can't find anything. It looks completely different from the garage that we had originally parked in.
You mean and there's 4 of you, right?
No, there's 3
and
of
we're
us.
hitting up
there's
every
3 of
single
you?
exit.
We're hitting up-
to see
Where are the girls at?
They're up in the,
Oh, they're
room.
chilling.
Yeah, they're waiting.
okay.
Yeah,
So it's you three
We're on an
knuckleheads.
adventure.
Okay, so we're walking around. We're checking all the different exits. Justin's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go up these stairs over here and get a bird's eye view," because he thought he would go up and look out to just orient himself.
Yeah, I just want to see because like we were totally turned around. I'm like, if I'm stuck somewhere in the wilderness, you got to go to the high ground. That's what I learned from Bear Grylls.
That's right. So
Yeah.
he goes up, and Doug and I are still looking around, and I hear faint screaming in the background. Sal. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's not what I said.
I walk over in Justin voice.
So,
Yeah.
something like that. It was more like that.
I walk over. Justin locked himself outside. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to climb up. Got to let him in.
yeah,
so-
dude, they fucking lock you out.
Then
Bro,
we're,
how long is this
Hold-
adventure
oh,
so
it's
far?
No, it's not. Yeah.
Oh, bro,
that was probably like
we're still
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're 20, 25 minutes
25.
in. Still trying to find
I
the
was
car.
wondering what took you guys so long to get to the house.
Oh, bro.
Oh, it keeps going.
So then I'm like, let's get back in the elevator and just go back up to the room and start over. So we go in the elevator.
yeah, we got to
And,
reset.
and,
this
and the
bitch.
elevator's on the 12th floor. This elevator only goes up to 3 floors. I'm like, I'm confused.
Yeah, we kept getting in ones that only went to 3.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So finally, Justin's like, let's just get out of the building and see what the fuck's going on. So we're like, all right.
Yeah.
So we walk out of one of the exits. Here's the vortex part, okay? So it's about 20 minutes of us walking
We were
around.
in a different side of town.
We're walking around in circles. And we're in a garage. It's the same garage. I mean, it has to be, right? Because we didn't leave the building. We leave the building. We're like, where are we? Justin puts the address on because we're going to walk around the building to go to the car, like from the outside. We're 1.7 miles away.
We have no idea how that happened.
Bro, do you have any
Still.
idea how creepy of a feeling that is? Where we only we walked around in circles, walk out, we're almost 2 miles away. How did this even happen?
Yeah.
It's a Twilight Zone.
We're freaking out. Maybe we're on edibles on top of it. Who knows? But anyway,
Yeah, that might have contributed.
so we got the little scooters, the birds, and we're like, fuck it. We're not walking
Yeah, I'm
2
not
miles
walking
around
2
the
miles.
building. So we get on the scooters. We just go all the way around, get the car, finally find it. We take off. It gets even better. Now we're following the GPS on the phone to get to the grocery store. 2 times it took us to dead ends. The freaking GPS did. A dead end.
Yeah.
In the
Like literally. Okay, so maybe it was clear before, but it had completely blocked the whole thing, so there's no access to get through there. And we're just like, what? And we're looking around for this left turn that doesn't exist. And we just we're so perplexed. We're
2
like,
different
it tells
times.
me to go. Siri is telling me here.
Yeah, so finally,
There's nothing there.
Finally, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going this way, and then we'll do it again. We'll pick it up, at
Yeah,
the
we'll
new
go
street.
to a different grocery store, right?
And
Sends us to the same place.
and then we end up in like, I don't know what part of LA we ended up, but all I know is we were boxed in because there were cars behind us, cars in front of us, stuck, and there was a naked crack whore right outside the window.
I saw the photos Justin shared.
She was tripping,
Yeah.
dancing and tripping, and Justin was like, I'm like, dude, you better film this.
Dude, he makes me film it, right? So I'm just like, oh, really? All right. And so
she
I
was
start to
naked.
film it. She sees that I'm filming it. And so she starts walking over to us like, yeah, you like that? You like that? Like, I'm like, ah! And I put my phone down on my lap, and I'm just like, I can't, dude. I can't do it. She likes this.
Yeah, so then we were just looking straight ahead,
Yeah.
just ignoring her. But anyway, we made our way back. It's the grocery store is, I'm not exaggerating, maybe 2 miles away from where we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
This whole thing took us an hour and a half.
Yeah. But we went to this Ralph's, and it was like there was 2 Ralphs. Like that's another thing that just blew my mind. We were in a Ralph's, and we go around the corner, and then there was another Ralph's.
Yeah, and the one that we ended up in was the bad Ralph's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I'm just like, there was just so many things.
it was just we got back, and I'm just like, I'm so happy to be back.
I give up.
Who was the first to snap and get frustrated?
Oh, we were just Justin was.
I was actually
Yeah,
pissed off.
just was-
Yeah,
Say,
I was-
wow, someone snapped. I wasn't there, so
I didn't have a whole lot of patience that day.
Justin was angry. He's like, "This is the last time I have Courtney book one of these places for us. I swear, she booked it wrong." He's like,
I was all deflecting on her, dude. Poor Courtney. Yeah,
He was
I
so
this
angry.
place sucks. Yeah,
I was laughing. I'm like,
bullshit.
this is an adventure.
Yeah,
But anyway, we made it back. Okay.
yeah. I wasn't.
But weird, bro. How do you do that? How do you walk in circles, then walk out, and you're 2 miles away? Even if we walked 2 miles away, it was weird. It was very, very strange. But anyway, we found our way back. Everybody's okay now. So
Yeah, I feel like we needed to add like gremlins or something to make it more interesting.
So it's all good. Did you guys see the article? Did I share with you the article about Taro? What's Taro's last name, Doug? Do you know?
You said you were going to send it, but you didn't send it over to us.
Yeah. What's his last name?
Honestly, I can't pronounce it.
It's Taro. I'm gonna look up his name. Right
Try.
now. Okay.
It'll be fun.
Well, Taro's the Four Sigmatic CEO.
He's the CEO of Four Sigmatic. The guy is like brilliant, slightly eccentric, brilliant, like that kind of brilliant, right?
Totally.
His last name is Isokopila, something like that.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what it is.
Anyway, super smart guy. I didn't know this. So in this article, they're talking about how Four Sigmatic is just exploding. In fact, Four Sigmatic in this article, this is a CNBC article, is saying how Four Sigmatic is single-handedly making, like creating the mushroom market. How it wasn't that big before, and now it's becoming this huge market because of Four Sigmatic, their ability to, just how good their products are and how they market. But anyway, they're talking about him. Did you guys know that he sleeps, or he takes a nap on a nail bed
I didn't know that.
for 30 to 40 minutes every day?
What?
Yeah. Like a bed of nails.
I feel like you would have tried that by now.
I haven't tried. I want to try it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. But apparently he says he wakes up refreshed. He goes right to sleep and he wakes up refreshed. A bed of nails. I want to try this.
Yeah. So what is that called when you get those acupuncture? Is it like the same effects?
I would imagine it's the same idea of like what we talk about with the vibrating machine to get you to squat deeper and like relax the body. I would think that you have all these pins in you.
Good. This is a great point.
That's my theory, right, on why that would work is you've got all these points on your body that it kind of forces the CNS to relax, and you probably do relax and fall asleep once you can relax, right? Once you can settle down.
Yeah.
So it's telling the CNS because it's overwhelmed with too much stimulus.
Right.
Too much stuff going on, so the CNS just like chill.
Right, which is the same theory that what happens when you do those vibrating plates, right? When you're trying to get somebody into a deeper squat, they're so tight, their body's all tense, and then you get them on that vibrating plate, kind of relaxes it, and then they drop deeper into it. I would think it would be something like that.
That's like next level, There's the cryo, there's sauna. He's like, no, bed of nails, bro.
Wow. Well, so the market for Four Sigmatic, he said in this article, has annual revenues of this is according to Crunchbase, over $61 million, just Four Sigmatic alone.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big, they're crushing.
They're putting out the best information for
increase the commercial
health.
rates.
Yeah.
Darren's going to get an email today.
The global market, because the global market for functional mushrooms, they're expecting to grow 6.4% every year from 2019 to 2024.
Oh, they're calling them functional mushrooms?
Functional mushrooms. Now,
then you have the ones that you buy for whatever, like food dish at the grocery store.
Well, you also think China probably has a huge market with functional mushrooms, right? Because Chinese medicine uses
Chinese herbs, yeah.
Yeah, they use mushrooms like crazy. Their number one seller is, now I didn't know this, so their mushroom coffee mix with lion's mane and chaga, trip off this. It's the number one bestseller in the instant coffee category on Amazon. It beats out Starbucks and Nescafe.
Really?
Yeah. So it outsells Starbucks instant coffee. Is the Four Sigmatic one with lion's mane and chaga.
Interesting.
Which one is that one? Is that the one that I said I like, or is it a different one?
That's the one that is the one that you liked. Yes.
Because I remember there's one that we've tried recently that they released that I like.
Well, I gave you cordyceps earlier, but that wasn't.
It's a good Cup Zero.
Yeah. Because lion's mane with caffeine, lion's mane, caffeine, and theanine. What a great combination that is. That is such a nice, smooth combination.
Do you guys remember, I want to say it was about a year or two ago, somebody asked us about a company called, I think it was like, it's called it's not Fair Oaks.
Fairlife.
Fairlife, that's it. The Fairlife milk or whatever, and it was like added protein, this and that, and we kind of looked at it and we're like, meh, whatever about it. And that was the last I'd ever heard about it. And then recently, they just hit the news big time over a big ass animal abuse scandal.
Oh,
Yeah,
they put.
I saw that.
What's the name of the organization that did this? They put workers in.
It's not PETA, it's somebody else.
No, someone else. They put workers undercover.
ARMS, ARMS,
Yeah,
or something
ARMS.
like that.
What does
right?
that stand for?
I don't know. It's
Okay, animal rights,
probably
something. Okay,
Yeah.
so they put undercover agents or whatever you want to call them in this company, which the company Fairlife is one of the largest dairy producers in the world, right? Aren't they partnered with Coke?
Yes.
They're massive. And one of their things is they say that they believe in the fair treatment of animals. Well, this undercover videos that they released showed the opposite. They showed a lot of what seems like abuse and kicking and punching of these animals. And then one part was how Fairlife says that they never sell their calves for veal.
Yeah.
And they filmed these calves getting taken to a big veal distributor or whatever.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
This is bad for them.
I saw the video too on the Fair Oaks owner. I forget his name. I think it's Michael something or other, the actual CEO owner of all this. And I mean, I felt like he took really good ownership of it. This is one of those situations where I have a hard time, or I know better than to jump to conclusions. One, working on a dairy and a ranch for many years at a very, very small size in comparison to this. I mean, and the amount of dead cows that you see on a regular basis is pretty common. So I could imagine at the size of this one, it'd be really easy to put together a video of, calves dying all over the place to make it look more extreme than what's going on. And then when you're herding around thousands of cows, and you've got hundreds of random employees working for you, I could definitely see, one kicking them here. So I could see the side of how you can make this look really, really gruesome and awful. But then I also can see the side too of like how these guys could just brush this shit on the rug. It doesn't fucking matter to them, and they're just trying to make money.
Well, so here's the point that I try and take with this, because you're right, Adam. Oftentimes videos can be made and edited to look worse than they actually are. So So here's what the CEO said in his video. He said that there were 4 or 5 employees that were in the video. 4 employees.
4, and
3 of which
were fired ahead of time.
They had already fired 3 months before the release of the video because other employees had reported them. So that actually looks good for them. One of them they hadn't caught. One of them was caught in the video. Now, the videos that you see could all be from those employees.
Right.
But they're edited to look like
there's a bunch
of different employees that are doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. The CEO said that they do extensive training on how to treat animals properly. If you see someone treating an animal poorly, please report it, all that stuff. In the investigative report, they were saying we got no training whatsoever. But here's the thing.
Yeah, so they actually went in there and had like a spy basically like go through the training protocol and all that to do an inside report.
But don't forget this though. The person who's going in from ARMS, okay, animals' rights.
They're
going into this with an agenda right away. Like if you're already suspect they're doing things that you think are wrong, so you send an undercover person in there. So they are looking for every piece of bad pub they can find. So you got to keep that in mind.
Not just that, they're so highly motivated. Because you have to put yourself in their state of mind. This was not an investigative. Wasn't an investigation from a non-biased agency. This is an organization that specifically, like you said, Adam, their agenda is to get people to stop eating animals.
Well,
that's the agenda.
It makes me think of another scenario, like infiltrating in, like having your own infiltrator, like cause a lot of the animal cruelty.
Well,
it could happen.
I don't know. You're right, but
I'm just throwing that out there as like a potential thing that like my mind goes to.
But well, put yourself again in their state, right? When you're that level of animal protector or animal supporter or anti, eating, meat or animal products, you consider animals like in the same level as humans. So they're so strong, their beliefs around this are so strong that imagine if you were trying to protect humans, right? You would do everything you possibly could to sway people's opinions.
Right.
And so, even in the video, you hear them say, like, we think you should stop drinking all dairy. Like they're saying all dairy,
right?
Take it off all, rather than just this company. So
yeah.
So I think people have to go, and I'm hoping somebody's going to analyze the footage to see if it's showing more than just the 4
Well, when we
employees.
watched the footage, I mean, it did have that emotional reaction. Like I even found myself like, oh my God, like this is repulsive. Like I got like really angry.
Well, yeah, if you've never been around, or like I grew up around that, so it's not that shocking to me. In fact, you have to take into consideration too, what you didn't see is the potential. And I'm playing devil's advocate. By no means am I fucking justifying any of the behavior or anything they're saying. So before I get roasted in my DMs the next day, but you could easily clip that where one of the guys that's hitting the calf on the head with a milk bottle with that could have just got fucking bit 3 seconds before that, and that's his reaction. And you clip the guy hitting the calf. Sure. And let me tell you, when a fucking animal that size grabs a hold of you and bites you, your natural reaction is to kick him or hit him or push him off of you or do things like that. So there's things like that I know because I've been around that for so long that you have to kind of keep into consideration all the things that could be going on too.
Here's what I think. I highly doubt that, but what I do think perhaps is that there's 4 employees that were implicated in the videos.
Right.
And it's those same 4 employees doing all the stuff.
It looks like that.
And the fact that
because that's a massive company.
Right.
Yeah.
And exactly. And to control, you have 1,000 employees working for you. And, a guy that at his level, I doubt even gets a chance to meet every single one of his employees. Mm-hmm. And they have a thing in place that if you see animal abuse, you report it right away. And then they terminated 3 of the 4 before this even leaked and came out.
Yeah.
So that shows me that they do care about that they are trying to.
But you know how this is, right? It's public opinion doesn't work that way. It's not like going to court where
right, of course.
The public already. It's too late. Like the video's out, you watch it, you get an emotional reaction.
Yeah, it's going to damage the company regardless. And I do definitely. I liked how he was very much owned. The fact that happened at his farm, and it was he was trying his best to make steps in better directions as far as correcting these kinds of things.
Well, it's so powerful nowadays because people are so far removed from their food that this is the truth now. If I were to show videos of how animals are actually slaughtered, properly slaughtered by law, not breaking any rules, not abusing animals, just videos of them being slaughtered, that would get people to react.
Right.
Because we're not used to, we don't see it. We always see is a piece of meat covered in plastic, in the tray at the grocery store. So these things have a lot of power, but it'll be interesting to see how this but if it is those same four employees in all the videos that are edited to look like a bunch of different people, they're covered, especially if they fired 3 of them before those videos aired. They're like, we already caught them. Right. We got rid of those assholes. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then they're kind of, covered.
That's why I'm kind of on the fence how I feel about it. I mean, it's there's not enough information yet before I would try and react, which I think we live in this era now where we see something, we read something right away, and then instantly.
I'm always checking myself because of that. That's why I'm always speculating too, worst case scenario. We saw Jesse Smollett. We saw these things come out where you're like, I can't fucking believe they would, make us think that.
Videos are starting to lose power because of that, because we're starting to see so many of them being, edited in a way to make them look different, or now there's the AI, where they're able to take your face and put it on something else and make you say something. Video's going to lose their power here pretty soon. The next 10, 15 years, I think you're going to show a video and everyone's going to be like, yeah, right.
Oh, and
is it real or not?
And an operation that massive with that many employees, it would not be hard to make something like that look bad. It's just period. Think of a company.
Yeah, that's not a bad point at all. Right, I don't care what company it is. You're going to find some assholes in that company.
Right, when you have thousands of employees. I mean, you go back to our experience personally in a company like, 24 Hour Fitness had 5,000 plus employees. Of those 5,000 plus employees, do you think that all 5,000 are great human beings and don't have a lot of fucking dirt?
No, I knew some of them personally.
Right. And imagine if you had a video that you could collect all the bad, inappropriate things they are doing. You could totally make that company look like a piece of shit. So I have a hard time pointing the finger at the company over things like this.
An example of that was PETA, and when they got in hot water for euthanizing a lot of the animals.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a whole nother thing, but I don't want to take us down a rabbit hole. But I'm just saying, there's if you really want to find dirt and shit, to your point, you could create something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Speaking of companies, this was on a lighter note. This is an older article, but someone shared it with me, and I never saw this. So this was in, I think it was in Fortune magazine or I want to say Fortune. The title of this was the 20 best companies to work for. Let me actually read the title. 20 best workplace in retail 2018. And under the small medium category, guess who got first place?
Who?
Organifi.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Organifi.
No shit.
Yeah, back in 2018 was the number one small and medium company for ranked by employees.
Well, you remember when we walked into their headquarters, and they've they've upgraded since then.
Yep.
But that was, you remember we got a applause when we walked in, and everybody was all.
It was a great culture there.
Oh, you could tell.
Cool.
You guys know that. We know that from our experience too, and just running big facilities. You can just feel it when you walk into a place that's got a good.
Everybody
vibe.
was bought in, man. They had just screens everywhere. Everybody was aware of what like this department was doing, that department was doing. They were all in great communication.
Well, so there's a website called Great Place to Work, and apparently they'll certify your company if you let them, survey your employees and all that stuff. And which is kind of interesting. It's pretty cool, right? So Organifi's Great Place to Work certified between June 2018 to June 2019. So they're probably going to go through another process. But check this out. So they surveyed their employees, and at the time they had 59 employees. 100% said that this is a great place to work. 100%.
Wow.
Yep, 100% across the board. Management is competent in running this business. I believe management would lay people off only as a last resort. Management is honest and ethical. Our executives fully embody the best characteristics of our company. Our facilities contribute to a good working environment. 100% across the board.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
That's great.
That
yeah,
is cool.
good for them. I like about that's one of the reasons why we partnered with them. Or why we continue to partner with them. Obviously, they have good products, but you could tell a lot about a company when you go into their headquarters and meet their staff. And oftentimes you think a product is good, you go and you meet their staff, and then I'm not going to name any names, but there's other big companies, a big supplement company in particular, where we had kind of an idea of them. We walk in and we're like, oh, this is not a great environment.
There's a disconnect there.
Yep. So I don't know how good that's going to be in terms of the products or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, good for them, man.
Yeah.
Kicking ass.
Shout out to Shauna and Drew over there, kicking ass.
Yeah.
Nice work, you guys.
Yeah. So did you see the next UFC fight that's going to come and happen?
Yeah, right, dude. I saw this. So stupid.
Who?
Dude, Justin Bieber put some tweet out there about he's calling out Tom Cruise.
Now, why is he calling him out?
I have no fucking idea. What sparked that? Why did he feel Tom Cruise specifically?
Is this
too?
one of those?
Just watch Mission Impossible or something?
Is this one of those deals where actors trying to get in their role before the movie rolls out? Remember when Joaquin Phoenix was doing that?
That smells like that, right?
Right, where it's they're trying
It's
to
a hype thing.
Right, trying to hype up a new movie that's going to get dropped.
That's where I thought too. I was like, yeah, this has to be a hype thing, or he's, I don't know, losing relevance. And so he thinks of the first A-lister he could think of in his mind, like Tom Cruise. That's usually somebody's go-to, right?
Yeah, it's just a single tweet. Everybody's confused about it, apparently. And then what's his name who fought in the UFC? Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's talking about, he says, McGregor Sports and Entertainment will host the bout.
Stupid.
Come on,
man.
Can I tell you? Okay, so first of all, I really hope this doesn't happen because it's stupid. But let's just say it did. I hope Cruz spanks their shit out of that little
I
kid.
know, right?
Just whoops his little ass.
He could use a good whooping.
I don't know if Bieber is smaller than Tom Cruise.
He's bigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
taller.
think Bieber is bigger than
Cruz.
He's got the reach.
Isn't Cruz 56?
And he's younger.
Way younger.
Yeah.
56 and 20. It's a big age difference. The only guy I would trust to fight at that age is Doug. You know what I mean? Doug will kill Bieber.
Doug would shred him in half.
That wouldn't even
Let's
be.
get that going. Yeah, you might be able to take Tom Cruise, but you won't take Doug.
You ain't taking.
You can't take Doug.
Oh my God! You know how bad that would be for Mind Pump if Doug fought, because then people would see the sheer violence that's
the
inside
fangs
Doug.
that come out. Yeah.
They have nobody understands.
I don't know if I want the bigger. What's Bieber's click? You know how Beyonce has her beehive.
The Beliebers.
Is that what it is?
Right? Yeah, it's the Beliebers.
Yeah, I don't want the Beliebers to come after us.
I'm going to call him out on Twitter.
All right, you should, Doug.
Get him, Doug.
I'll fucking fight you.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah.
Get him.
We don't want everybody to see that side of Doug. keep that to inside.
With your cute face.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that Space is officially open? Did you hear about this?
What?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean space is open?
So at the end of last week, NASA announced plans to open the International Space Station to private business by allowing private astronauts to travel to space.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Can we take all the flat earthers up there, please?
Bro.
Look, shut the fuck up.
Look,
Listen,
it's round.
Look, it's real now. Let's get back to life.
Listen to how much what do you guys think a ticket will cost?
To go up to the space station, 10 million.
Space tourists will have to sell how much for a ticket, you think?
10 million.
58 million for a ticket to the station, and then another 35,000 per night to stay there.
Wow. Can you imagine having
Most
space dinner?
That's the most.
That would be awesome.
Space dinner.
How about
you're trying
space
to eat
sex?
peas and you just
Space
can't
sex
grab
sounds
them.
way cooler.
Space sex would be way better.
Now, when you finish,
you're the thousands of miles club.
hey, that spoils your pull-out method idea for sure.
Yeah.
you can't do the pull-out method in space.
No, man.
We can
You gotta like triple wrap it so it stays in there.
Don't go in Justin's room. Leave that door closed.
Hold on, I got some cleaning to do.
Yeah, what is this? Is that a squid?
$58 million.
Is that a jellyfish?
I got scared. Is this ink? What is this?
Oh, gross. That's so gross. No, dude, that's crazy expensive.
$58 million.
That doesn't sound like a deal. If you ask me,
It does not sound like a deal.
sounds like a ripoff.
Yeah.
Well, all the billionaires will be doing it. I mean, if you're a billionaire, what's 58
You kind of
million?
have to do
What's
it.
left?
Why else get all that money? you
Right.
know?
No, if
Damn,
if you made it that far, right?
That's crazy. That's
We're there though, dude. Isn't that nuts that we're there? I mean, it's only a matter of time
interesting.
before.
what, Airbnb up there.
Yes. Or some broke ass fool like us could get up there. You know what I'm saying?
Space
Right
B&B.
now. Yeah, we'll be able to afford it in like 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the plans? I don't know if NASA talked about this or other scientists speculated of making a space elevator. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I did. That was in, I think it was in Japan. They were talking about it.
Like literally,
Like a literal elevator that goes straight through the atmosphere all the way up
I know it sounds crazy.
to the space station. They said feasibly it would cost less than trying to fly everybody in rockets all the time.
Yeah, and you just go up the elevator all the way to space.
That would be cool.
Yeah, how long would that
what
ride
in
be?
the fuck?
That would be a crazy ass long ride.
Dude,
The music.
I would be so nervous.
I just feel like an earthquake would
Then you
fuck
have
that for sure.
You have one fat guy that jumps and you're screwed, you know?
You got Kenny G playing in the background.
Yeah. The whole way up forever.
I'm not riding with Justin up that elevator.
Yeah, I'll take it down.
But that's wild. So what would be the benefit of a private company? I guess for marketing purposes.
Yeah, forget competition. It'll open up the space to be competitive. So it's that's what I think is cool about it. I mean, they've NASA partnered actually with SpaceX.
I think we should sell the moon. That's what I think.
Sell it?
Yeah.
Like space on
Like
it?
you look up at night in the sky and the moon says Coca-Cola.
Bro, they're already talking about that. Amazon's already trying to get in on that.
On what?
I remember reading an article like they're trying to sell like there was some kind of like a billboard or light, like advertisement they were trying to like shine from.
Oh, to shoot on the moon.
Yes, shoot on the
How
moon.
fucked up is that?
Right?
You're just-
I was like, no.
The one last
You're not
place.
allowed to do that shit.
It's a romantic evening. Look at the moon.
Yeah.
So, God damn it.
Brought to you
Target.
by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Right there on the moon.
This makeout session.
Yeah. Dude, there was another study that came out on mental health and exercise, and this is cool now. The study now is calling for exercise to be the primary treatment for mental disorder, the first line. So they're trying to say in this particular study that instead of giving people medication as a first line defense, get them exercising because it's that effective.
Good.
It's that effective at alleviating patients' symptoms. How crazy is that? And how awesome is that?
Finally.
Yeah, so instead of prescribing psychotropic medications, give them physical exercise to deal with their symptoms of anger, anxiety, and depression. Think about how much money that would save, and how much we know how much better of a treatment that would
It'd be interesting to see how many people will actually do it, though.
Well, when the studies are supporting it, you might get more people behind it. You might get insurance companies paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how much it saves them money.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so that would be so what they're saying is the objective is that the primary objective is to promote exercise, fitness, and physical health to inpatient psychiatry patients. Then the secondary objective includes therapeutic management of depressive symptoms with medications or whatever. But give them that first.
Yeah. That would be interesting if there was a practice that combined like personal training and psychotherapy, like there was like in the same like vicinity. So it's like they kind of worked together with that. So they had a plan.
It works, man.
Yeah.
I know this working with
we know
clients.
how powerful it is.
Oh my God,
when you get
dude.
people moving, how much better they feel.
How often did this happen to you as a trainer, where you be training a client? I'm sure it happened every time. You train a client and a year later, they're not the same person. Not just physically, but they're just not the same person. Yeah. Where they walked in and they were either grumpy or low energy or whatever, and a year later, it's like I used to train, I'm not going to say too much about this person because I don't want to give them away, but I used to train a gentleman who worked in a particular field that I trained lots of other people in. And when I would bring up his name, he was quite well known in this field, and when I would bring up his name, when I first started training him, the other people that I trained that knew him would be like, "Oh my gosh, good luck to that man. I don't know how you're gonna be able to hang in with that guy," because apparently he had a bad reputation for being kind of a jerk to a lot of people. And he was. When he would come in, he was kind of an ass. Now I'm the perfect person to train an asshole because it doesn't faze me, and I'll give it back to you every once in a while. And so he would do that to me, come in and be a jerk, and I'd fucking whatever, and I'd be a jerk back to him, and that was it. We trained. And after about 6 or 7 months, little by little, him and I developed a friendship, and we became cool or whatever. Well, anyway, these same people that knew him would come into me and be like, "Hey, I'm going to change his name to protect him or whatever." They'd be like, "What are you doing with Michael?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just working out." They're like, "He's a different person at work. He's telling jokes. He's giving people hugs. Like, he is a completely different person." His wife came in one day when he wasn't training with me and told me, "If he ever says he's not going to train with you anymore, call me, because I'll buy him more sessions. He cannot stop with you. This is completely changing his attitude." But I would see stuff like that all the time with clients, because exercise an activity has such, and I don't think it's that necessarily that exercise is a miracle treatment. I think that we evolved with activity, and that not having activity is what causes, or at least exacerbates, a lot of these symptoms of anxiety and depression.
I think the key though will be what you just said about getting insurance companies to pay for it. Because I don't see, if you're going into therapy and you've got, depression and you got shit like that going on with you, to get you to be motivated to go work out at the gym, way hard. I mean, it's hard already. It's hard for the average person who's just not in great shape or has health conditions or just should be in the gym, period, right? Doesn't matter. Like that person already has a hard time getting in the gym. Throw in the fact that they're depressed, they have anxiety, they have all this they have mental issues going on.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to.
Yeah, and it's a lot like, your general practitioner will throw out there like, well, just, stop eating fast food and just like try and get some walking in.
Yeah.
It's like really like generic, terrible advice that's like duh. Like having like real specifics and giving them an action plan, I think that will do something.
Well, I thought this for a long time. I talked about that back when I used to have my studio. In fact, I had written a very basic business plan around this particular idea, because I thought at some point maybe I'd pursue this. But I thought that mental health facilities where you have therapists, counselors, psychologists, or psychiatrists should have a small gym in there with specially trained personal trainers. Yeah. And I thought that would...
especially weight loss clinics. Like, I've always thought that. There needs to be, like, therapy in there.
Yeah, but even just a place where you go to get therapy, they also have a gym. And so part of your treatment is... Here's what I think. And I'll tell that, look, if you're a therapist and you're listening right now, try this out. Have the patient exercise before they talk to you. Have them work out and then have them come meet with you, and watch how much more they open up
before their MDMA.
Yeah, no, that's the other. That's the other.
Get into that too.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, another crazy study. So scientists, for the first time, have discovered a mechanism that's been identified that can transmit neuronal responses across generations. In other words, this study shows how the nervous system can transmit information across different generations.
What?
Yes.
Through DNA?
Which, now, this to me, I think explains when you see this, right? Let's use like Stephen Curry for an example. You've got him his brother, his dad. They're all like these like amazing basketball players and pure shooters. Like it's crazy. You got to think that there has to be something in the DNA that's passed down from generation.
Some programming that was just passed along.
That's along the lines of like epigenetics, right?
Right,
But
right.
it makes perfect sense because if you're think about evolution for a second, right? We always think of it broadly. Let's say you live in a cold, stressful environment. And obviously, in a cold, stressful environment, the people who are going to survive the most are the ones that are hardest working, probably most paranoid, and probably the ones who are seeking food the most. So high appetite, high levels of energy. I don't know. I'm kind of making things up. Well, then it would make sense that 3, 4, 5 generations down, it's going to help program the next generation to kind of be born with these types of characteristics. So it's fascinating, right? And it's based off your experiences. So maybe if you have a different experience, let's say you grew up in had a rough childhood, but now your kid grows up in a great childhood. Are they going to inherit some of your experiences or some of how your body would have changed based on your experiences? Maybe. Kind of crazy, right? If you think about it.
That's super crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but this was not done on humans. This was done on a particular type of worm, I believe.
Because we're just like worms.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nervous systems go way back. I mean, they go way, way, way back before humans. So, but this is the first time that we've actually identified a mechanism. So this is a breakthrough. So now that they've identified the mechanism, they're going to see if they can see it and find it or something similar to it in other animals. And who knows? Because oftentimes discoveries are made with, other species before they find them in humans. So we'll see what happens.
This quaz brought to you by Organifi. For those days you fall short on getting your organic veggies or whole food nutrition, Organifi fills the gap with laboratory-tested certified organic superfoods to help give your health and performance the added edge. Try Organifi totally risk-free for 60 days by going to Organifi.com. That's Organifi.com. And use the coupon code MINDPUMP for 20% off at checkout. First question is from CDT T Young. How do you guys feel about 1 rep maxes for yourself and for your clients? I'm into powerlifting and strongman, so I see them as necessary. But what about for overall health?
We talked about this a long time ago.
We did.
But it's been a while, so that's why I put it on here. And I think it's somewhat of an important topic, especially I feel like in the last, I don't know, would you guys say decade or so? I don't want to blame CrossFit completely. I know we blame CrossFit for a lot of things.
You could blame social media too, with like the PR and the always trying to show that you're doing awesome shit.
Yeah, there was a time where I didn't even know what PR meant. Like there was like I was.
That's recent.
Yeah, I didn't know what a PR. When people were first talking about PRs, I'm like, what the fuck is a PR? Like, that was never a thing when I first started as a trainer.
Public relations officer.
We used to just say your max.
Yeah,
that's what we used to call it back in the day.
Yeah,
what's your max?
But it got so popular that
How
people
much
are talking about PRs all the time, and there's. Hey, if you hit a new PR in an exercise, I think that's great, and more power to you to celebrate that. But because of that, it's created this culture around always chasing a max. And it's funny because when I think back to all the years that I've trained clients, this was never really a conversation. Almost never.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can count on one hand how many clients that I was actually training towards like a lift,
The only time I've ever done that with a client was when I had a football player that I was training who was trying to get ready for a combine. And so we were actually like testing it out, like to see like where our range was like a few months prior to that. And then we were, ramping ourselves up towards that. But yeah, to be honest, it's not something that I focused on very often with clients or even myself, unless I was, on a sports team.
Yeah, there are benefits to training heavy singles and doubles. Those aren't maxes though. Maxing out would be lifting, something for 1 rep. That's your absolute limit. What I'm talking about is taking a weight that's lower than that, that's still heavy, where you're practicing like 1 rep at a time. Powerlifters often train like this, and I think this has benefits for a lot of people. The risk is somewhat high training this way, but there's a lot of benefit to training heavy singles, doubles, and triples.
Yeah, but that's different though.
That's different than a max. Right?
He's talking about a max lift, chasing PR type stuff right here.
Now, the only benefit to testing a max out is to see where you're at, and and or if you have clients who are highly motivated in that way, and if it's appropriate for them. When I used to train Doug, there were a couple times where we had him test out his max for something like deadlift, because one of his goals at the time was to be able to deadlift over 400 pounds. And that was really one of his goals. Like one of his distinct goals was, I want to be able to pull 400 pounds off the floor. And so testing that out, was part of his training. It kept him motivated. It was appropriate for him because he had good form, he had good mobility and stability, and it was under my watchful eye. That being said, it's quite rare. I really don't see any benefit for most people.
I see no value
to train max.
I see no value in it if the client isn't asking specifically for that, right? If Doug says, "Hey, Sal, I want to increase I want to see you with the most I could ever deadlift," like obviously that's going to get implemented into his routine. But if it's just a normal client which the average person's coming to you for fat loss or building some muscle or just staying healthy or being more mobile, like that's like 90% of the clients that most trainers will train. If it's that person, I don't think it belongs in a routine at all. In fact, there's way more risk than there is reward to you knowing that number. Like as a trainer, I can program a great
you don't
program
need to know that number.
and never know what this person's max bench press or max squat or max deadlift is.
Now the only other benefit potential I could see from doing this is the mental component. And what I mean by that is this. Okay, so sometimes knowing your limits, pushing yourself to the limit, it may not benefit you physically. Like it may not make you get fit any faster. It may not build any extra muscle on you or burn any extra body fat. And it might even slow your progress because you pushed yourself too hard. Like if you did a 2.5 hour workout where you just push yourself to the limit, it's not going to make you progress any faster. It might actually slow down your progress. But the benefit might be knowing that you can do it, pushing your body to those limits. The emotional and the mental capacity that you have for hard exercise has now grown. Because here's the thing, like part of your job as a trainer, or even just for yourself for working out, is knowing how far you can go, because then you know where you should go to get good results. Like I do this often. I don't do this often, but I do this regularly, where I will go to failure sometimes on a set to recalibrate my, how far I know I need to push to go to failure, so I know when to stop. Because what I was finding is when I wasn't testing myself, that I thought I was pushing my sets to 1 or 2 reps before failure, but in reality it was more like 4 or 5 reps before failure. So every once in a while I would test myself and kind of recalibrate my perception of where that intensity should be. And so I could see that sometimes. Like when you go in the military, for example, sometimes your workouts are designed to make you more fit, and sometimes they're there to make you tough. And the tough ones are not the ones that are going to make you fit. Those are the ones just to push your mental capacity. And so it's kind of that. It's a little bit of that, right? When you're pushing your client that hard. But again, like Adam said, 90% of the clients it would be inappropriate to do that.
I saw this a lot through a lot of sports training, and I still see it, pervading that industry in terms of like really leaning hard on the mental discipline, the toughness, the trying to get kids ready by just beating the shit out of them so they get ready for the season, when there's a lot smarter approach that they could have where they're going to be stronger, faster, and have more longevity. So it's just hard for me to really promote it anymore. Like I get it. Like I get the drive to want to accomplish like a PR or something where I can achieve my max, squat, my max bench. Like those were staples for me. Like I wanted to be the strongest in my class when I was going up, working out with guys that were, 100 pounds heavier than me. And I was benching and squatting the same amount of weight as them. That was cool. But really that wasn't what mattered on the field. Like that actually, like it deterred me from a little bit of performance because my shoulder was compromised because I worked so hard at trying to be the best bench presser.
What grade was this? 6th? 5th?
Yeah.
6th grade?
That joke didn't fly, bro. Nobody's laughing.
That was great, Justin. He left it. He let it die.
That one, I buried that one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, I like maxes personally. I don't train them often. I don't max out often at all. I think the last time I tapped out or topped out on a max was, 2 years ago maybe. I mean, recently I pulled 530 off the ground in a deadlift, but it wasn't my max. I was tempted though. I did think to myself, like, I wonder if I could pull 550, but I left it at 530. But I do like every once in a while using that as a goal. Like, okay, I want to be able to do this weight, so let me train towards this weight, and then see what I can do. But every time you do that, the risk of injury is really high because now you're pushing performance beyond a health and wellness perspective, right? You're pushing it to a max performance perspective, in which case the risk of injury is always higher.
Well, and the only time I was maxing out quite a bit was when I was chasing after your deadlift numbers, and I had the most problems injury-wise during that time, for sure, because I was constantly pushing the limits. I'll actually max squat more than anything else, just because of all the things when you look at like overhead press, bench press, deadlift, squat, the most common things that you would max out on. Squatting, I feel the most comfortable and safest with bailing in a situation.
Really, even more than a deadlift?
Yeah, definitely.
You just throw it behind you, man.
Yeah.
God, squats are scary to bail on for some people.
Not for me.
Not for me, either.
Well, I mean, if you know how to do it right.
Well, especially when you can get. You can only get to like 90, but Justin and I can get all the way. so when you can get all the way down and you're at the bottom and you can't get out of it, you just kind of bail. You let it bail off of you, no problem. Where deadlifting, if I'm yanking on it to come up, I'm more likely to pull something trying to get it off the ground when it's too heavy, or my low back start to
you just let go of the bar.
Power cleans were the worst. I used to have the worst like bails, like the most epic bails.
You fall back on your ass.
You fall back and you really eat it, but. Yeah, those are still fun.
Yeah, bailing on a bench press, not good.
No. Yeah, that's definitely not one.
The worst.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Next question is from Andrew Beth. What are the benefits of having smaller meals throughout the day versus large, less frequent meals? Or is it just a personal preference?
Yeah, so it's funny how this has died recently, but forever it was promoted, and I used to promote this because this is what I thought to be true. It was promoted that if you wanted to maximize fat burning, you wanted to maximize muscle building, if you wanted to stoke your metabolism, you had to eat frequent small meals throughout the day, to the point where eating few meals throughout the day, even if it was the same calories, would slow your metabolism down, make you gain more body fat, and you'd lose muscle. And they used to say, look, you want to feed your body frequent amino acids so that your body doesn't tap into your muscles to provide those amino acids. So it's got a constant influx. You can't metabolize more than 30 to 50 grams of protein at a sitting. So, if you're going to eat 200 grams of protein, when you need to have at least 4 meals, but better yet, have 5 or 6 meals throughout the day. That small meals stoked the fire of the metabolism because of the thermic effect. And the larger meals didn't do that and all that stuff. This was a massive myth, and we actually crushed this one early on in the Mind Pump days. Actually got some blowback from it early on, but then when you look at the science, we're totally right.
Our 6-pack bag sponsorship really fell through.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the old benefits that we were told that it provides, speed up the metabolism, burn body fat, build muscle, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. As long as it's not in the extremes, it's all the same. It's all to personal preference. Now, that being said, there are some benefits, in my opinion, to eating smaller meals. If you're eating 5,000 calories a day, you're probably going to have to eat 5 meals a day. Good luck trying to eat that with 3 meals. That's a big, huge meals that you're going to have to sit down and eat, and you're going to feel bogged down. Smaller meals, and that's probably where it initially got its wings, right? Bodybuilders, who were eating these
these huge bodybuilders, it makes sense.
Yeah,
there's just so many calories you have to eat, and you got to split up. I mean, who's going to sit down, for a lot of those like 4,000 calorie meals? It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I also find it as a really good tool to teach portion control and stuff for clients. Most clients don't want to have to weigh, measure, and Tupperware food for the rest of their life, and they want to just sit down at a dinner in a restaurant and look at it and kind of eyeball it just like you or I would. And so if that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to look at a plate and kind of have an understanding of how many calories are in it, how many grams of carbs, proteins, and fats. I used to like to do the small meals for the day for teaching purposes, just to kind of show them what 6 ounces of chicken looks like and 4 ounces of sweet potato and what a serving of veggies look like. So I like to do that and show them like how they should feel from feeling that. You should feel satisfied. You shouldn't feel hungry still afterwards, but you should also not feel stuffed. And we live in this culture now. I mean, if you look at us compared to almost any other country, when you look at the plates that we get served, it's unheard of.
Oh,
it's nothing like that anywhere else.
Take a foreigner to Cheesecake Factory, and have them just freak the fuck out.
Yeah, it's insane. Like our plates in the States, like a lot of the plates are like 2,000 calorie
We
plus.
should designate a day to that. Take a foreigner Cheese Factory Day.
Yeah, to Cheesecake Factory Day.
Make it a thing.
We'll start it.
Boy, between you and Adam today, the comedy's just flying. It's just-
I know it's happening.
yeah, maybe I'll save
It's
the show,
happening here.
the joke or something later.
I got you, Justin.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Well, here's the thing though. Small meals throughout the day is also a pain in the ass though. Like you're eating 5 meals a day, 6 meals. If you're not preparing these meals ahead of time and carrying them around with you everywhere, guess what ends up happening? You end up eating bars and shakes to make up that, which is why the fitness industry promoted this for so long, because they knew that if everybody bought into the "I need to eat small meals," mentality.
Yeah, if you're doing small meals throughout the day and 1 or 2 or 3 of them are bars and shakes,
you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because in that case, you may as well just add those extra calories to 2 or 3 of the other meals that you're eating.
And you'd be
a day.
better off.
You'd be way better off than doing that. But if you could eat, if you portioned out,
and you were walking around with your Tupperware,
and you brought. I mean, Katrina and I did this for a very long time, especially when I was competing, and I had to. She did too, and she would basically take 2 because she'd eat one for breakfast before she left to work. She took 2 Tupperwares to work. That would be 2 other meals, and then she ate once or twice when she came home later on in the evening time. So she was eating 4 to 5 meals a day. I was eating more like 6 to 7 meals that were portioned out. What was nice about it, there was always 10 things of Tupperware in the refrigerator too that were good to go. So if there was a time where we were tempted to eat something else, and you had a good balanced meal that was put in there. So
now here's the other thing too, though. There's a lot of science showing health benefits to time restricted eating, where not fasting necessarily, but where people eat in a 10-hour window and don't eat when the sun goes down. Now, calories really are what determine whether or not you gain body fat or not, right? If you're taking in more calories than you're burning, you're going to gain body fat. If it's less, then you'll lose. But they're finding that we know that the organs have a circadian rhythm. So even you may be wearing your blue blocker glasses, and you may be not exposing yourself to blue light, and making sure your body knows it's dark so that you get good sleep. But then you eat food, and your body thinks, oh, it's time to be awake. Let's digest. And they're finding that it impacts sleep and impacts health. And eating lots and lots of meals, it's difficult to do that, right? Because if you're trying to eat all your meals before 6 p.m. and you got 6 meals, you eat like every hour. You're eating something. So this is down the totem pole of important things that you should do. But if I have somebody that's eating healthy and they're like, hey, Sal, what's the next thing I can do to optimize my health with my food? I'm going to tell them, restrict your eating within a time window, eat when the sun is up, and when the sun goes down, stop eating anymore. Let your body know that it's nighttime. You'll have better sleep and of course, and then better health down the road. And so, there's that. There's also the benefits of fasting, where you don't have any food. It gives your digestive system a break. It speeds up the cell waste removal process. It stimulates stem cells so that when you do refeed, you create these new, healthier cells. And at the end of the day, if you look at humans from an evolutionary standpoint, it's highly likely that for most of the time we were on Earth, we didn't eat throughout the whole day. We might have eaten a little bit here and there if we were lucky to find some berries and some nuts or some roots. But then we would hunt something, we'd eat a big meal, and then we didn't eat until we got something else. So the small meals throughout the day, I think there may be some negatives for some people. I think it may be pro-inflammatory for some people. If you have gut issues, oftentimes eating small, frequent meals throughout the day may not be a good idea. Believe it or not, as counterintuitive as that sounds, for people with irritable bowel syndrome, eating a lot of small meals oftentimes can make things worse. People with acid reflux, oftentimes, if they eat too often or eat too late, close to bedtime, can make things worse.
Yeah, it screws me up.
So that's where the personal preference thing, I think, comes into play. Like, see what you feel. I feel better personally eating, less frequently. I don't feel as good if I eat frequently throughout the day. And believe me, for years I ate very frequent. I eat 7-8 meals a day every day. I brought them to work with me every day. So I've had both, and I find that eating less frequently seems to make me feel better.
Next question is from Mom Spaghetti 88. What does it mean to be a strong man to you? What does it mean to be a strong woman beyond the physical component?
Oh, like just strength.
Is this like a philosophical question?
I guess. Yeah, just strength. Yeah. I don't know. What were you thinking, Adam? You picked the question.
No, I thought it would be a great discussion, especially since they bring up beyond just the strength side.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've shared the article that T Nation shared. I think is a great
About physical strength.
Yeah, about physical strength. So, but we've never talked about what that looks like, mentally and work capacity, which Justin loves to discuss. Workload, work capacity, the importance of that. I think that falls under the category of being strong. Now, also, when you train that way, kind of going back to the question we asked before about maxes and PRs, and you talked about the mental component that comes with that. There's something to be said about the mental fortitude that comes with training like a strong man or strong woman.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like I think real world strength to me matters. Like so it in terms of like not just it applying to a very unique specific skill in a sport or looking the part. So like I want to know too, like just watching what you do throughout the day, like how you move things, like how your abilities to overcome obstacles, like all these things matter to me in terms of general strength and what somebody has. Like I can see that through your movement patterns.
Yeah, this is like, I've met a few people who were at the highest levels in the military. I knew a guy who was a Navy SEAL who used to work out at one of the gyms that I managed. I knew a Ranger, special ops, and of course we would get in conversations about fitness, and I would always ask him what the testing protocol was like, before they got in, before they got the designation of being like a SEAL or whatever, and they would talk about the testing and how just grueling and crazy it was, and I would say, man, you need to be like super fit to do all that stuff. And he goes, and they would all tell me the same thing. They'd be like, yeah, you need to be fit, but that's not what determines.
Yeah, it's not what's going to make or break you.
No, that's not what determines the winners or losers. He goes, first off, you have to be fit as hell just for them to invite you. Mm-hmm. Like that's what gets you to go through the course. They would tell me that the difference between the guys that would fail and the guys and girls that would succeed was the mental piece. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the physical piece. Fortitude. Like everybody there could do the physical stuff. Mm-hmm. It was, can you handle like going underwater? You ever seen the tests with the Navy SEALs where they go underwater with a breather and their hands and feet are tied, and there's another SEAL, there's a guy going down,
just pushing them back,
taking the tube out of the mouth, fucking gnarly with them. I mean, causing you to panic. Like it's that mental fortitude that they're looking for, and if you think about it, makes perfect sense in battle. That's what's going to determine. I mean, how strong do you have to be to hold your and pull the trigger of a gun or whatever? It's all about that mental fortitude. There was that one book. I never read the book, but it was. I've heard a lot about it. A gentleman who was a POW, and he talked about how his strategies to surviving being a prisoner of war for as long as he did. And he said that the people that were mentally weak and that didn't have religion were the ones that died first. And he said the things that kept him and others alive was that purpose. They had a belief in a higher power, which obviously gives you that purpose outside of your fucking anguish and pain or whatever. And he said also he found strategies that helped him. And one of the strategies was to break things down into smaller chunks. Like if I think I'm going to be here for a year, that's just too much. I can't process that. If I think about I need to survive, I need to be able to make it till lunch, and then I need to be able to make it till for the next couple of hours. And I need to be able to make it till bed, and then I need to be able to make it through the night, and then break it up into smaller chunks. Mm-hmm. That kind of demonstrates man's search for meaning. Was that the book? I don't know. Maybe
Viktor Frankl.
I think that might have been. But it's interesting. I think for me, strength is the ability to persevere and maintain your internal moral compass. Like everybody's a good guy or a good girl when shit's going great or when people are watching, but can you keep that up when the shit gets, hits the fan? Are you able to maintain that moral compass? Are you able to keep moving forward when everything and everyone is turned against you? That would be strength. And all of us think that we're strong. We all think that we're that kind of person, but the history shows us that most of us are not. Yeah. Most of us fall in line, and most of us do what we're told.
That's what makes, I think, strength training or training in general so great. There's so many parallels to it in life. And I know that we talk out against like a lot of the motivational bullshit, but there is some value to, help pushing through the times where you want to quit, or pushing through times when you don't feel like getting up to go to the gym. And that practice of doing that towards working out and exercise carries over into other aspects of your life. I love the quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I think learning to be mentally and physically tough inside the gym translates so well into other aspects of your life that, maybe we don't discuss that much. And I see less of the benefits of, going all out or beast mode in the gym for the gains you're going to get or the fat loss you're going to get. I see the mental fortitude that comes from that is where the real benefits are. So learning to intermittently inject that into your routine, I see lots of value. And I think that is what defines a strong man or woman, is that you've got the mental fortitude to do the things that you have to do today so you can do the things that you want to do tomorrow. And so being able to get up, go to the gym sometimes when you're tired, you're exhausted, or you think you can't get there, or your day's too busy, and having the discipline to still make that happen or make it a part of your life, I think that's really important. And I think if you learn to do that inside the gym, that makes you a very strong man or woman in there, but it also carries over into the rest of your life.
Yeah, I definitely think it all ties in, especially the mental fortitude part. Like, you can see that, like, how you can literally change your outcome based off of how you're mentally resilient, and it's not even an option for you. Like, you can create that for yourself to persevere through really tough, challenging things. I definitely find that as a part of a strength. If we're going to talk about this, like, philosophically, like, that is a huge part of having strength. The part that I have problems with, because like when we first started the show, I was very much like revered more of the intense training, the intense, I've found a lot of value personally out of like really kicking the shit out of myself and like trying to challenge myself to overcome all this amount of stress. And, peeling that back, it wasn't the best for me. It wasn't the best for my body. It wasn't the best for my relationships around me. It wasn't the best, promoting good habits throughout my lifestyle and my day. So I feel like if we revere it too much, like, this could be a problem. This could be something that I just see it all the time. Is that's an easy thing for me to look at somebody and be like, oh my God, you're such a badass. You did like the craziest shit ever, all this stuff. And like, it's very alluring. Like, that's the way to get to strength.
Yeah.
Like, that's at its highest. So now I look at it differently now is what I'm trying to say.
I got an example of someone, because I was thinking of a lot of people who I think exemplify for me strength, but one person really stands out, and and I've talked about her a few times on the show, but years ago, and this was at the time, my mother-in-law, but I grew up with her. I knew her since I was 8 years old, and so she was like another family member, like another mom or an aunt, and she was very hardworking woman, very positive, held the family together. She was that cornerstone of the family for her side. And she got diagnosed with cancer. She's the family member that I refer to sometimes when I say that I knew someone who fought cancer. She got diagnosed with a very rare, deadly, terminal form of cancer. And this woman just the harshest chemo treatment that they could throw at her, they gave her, because of the type of cancer she had. There were no known treatments that could help. And so the doctors were like, we're going to try this experimental combination of chemo. It's going to be real harsh. So she had to not only go to the hospital to get chemo, she also had to walk around with this pump that was constantly giving her chemo. And when she saw us, she smiled every time. She continued to do all the stuff around the house. She continued to watch my kids and babysit my kids. In fact, when she told us she got diagnosed with cancer, the second thing out of her mouth was, "Don't you dare take these kids away from me." Like, because she knew that we would be like, oh, don't watch the kids. She's like, no, I want to watch them as long as I possibly can. And I would train her in the gym. She'd come in with her little chemo pump and her wig because she had lost her hair. And she'd come in and she would ask my staff, how are you guys doing? How's your day going? Oh my God, how's your husband? Like, besides the wig and the chemo pump, you could never tell. And you knew she was going through it. Just strength and resilience up until the absolute. And that woman really demonstrated to the point where her son, who I also grew up with, my brother-in-law, he was a good kid growing up, but kind of a cocky, arrogant asshole at times, as I'll tell him this to his face. He took care of his mom, witnessed what she went through, and witnessed how she kept herself, the grace that she presented, the strength that she presented, never complained, never, always moving forward, always strong. It completely changed him and turned him into this extremely hardworking, motivated young man who's now extremely successful in investments. And I saw the switch. And I remember I talked to him. I said, man, when your mom went through that and everything, I said, I saw you change for the positive. And he goes, I could not be negative after watching my mom go through what she went through and being as positive as she always was, as she was through that whole period. He goes, there's no way I could be negative after watching that. That to me was strength. When I saw her go through that, I was just like, wow,
perfect.
That's incredible.
Yeah, doing the right thing regardless.
Always.
Next question is from Black Belt Ryan. What would you guys suggest to help someone find their purpose in life?
To help find how do you help someone else find their purpose?
Well, didn't we touch on that? I feel like we just touched on this with another question, and the response was you should try and find something that you would do even if you didn't get paid. I mean, I think that's a good place to start, is to look for that. Is to like, what is it that I love doing so much that, obviously we all need to get paid to pay our bills, this and that. That's beside the point. But if your bills are covered and you didn't have to pay for those things, like what is it that you would do that you would do for free, or you would do regardless if you were the wealthiest person in the world?
What's funny about this question is that you have a purpose. You just have to define it. And what I mean by that, and I'm not trying to be esoteric here, okay? If you may think to yourself like, oh, I don't have any purpose. No, you're actually working towards a purpose. It's your highest value. Whatever you value most in life is what your purpose is. That's what everything that you do is going to be defined by that. So if it's money or power or video games, that's what everything's going to be geared towards. So if you feel like you're aimless, it's probably because your top value isn't worth it.
I also think you're too self-centered. You're thinking too much about your own purpose. Like, why don't you just start by doing things for other people and see where your passion lies? Start like thinking outside of yourself and see what happens. It's amazing what reveals itself. Like, you're too much about like your daily process. I think a lot of times, and this is my problem, like on Instagram and everywhere else, and all these motivational people are so much about trying to define yourself, finding this quest, this journey, this everything. It's like so fucking self-absorbed. Go fucking do things for other people.
Yeah.
It's amazing what kind of purpose that brings.
Yeah.
It's simple.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Look at your top value. Like, what do you value most in the world? And that's what you're going to be driven towards. That's what your purpose is. So if that's family, then that's the lens you see everything through. That's why you work. That's why you do what you do. That's why you try to become a better person, is for your family. If it's money, then everything's going to be geared towards that. If it's sex, if it's drugs, if it's God, that's, whatever your top value is what and this was a mind-blowing thing for me to get. Like, I understood this not that long ago. I don't remember who it was I was talking. They're saying, look, if you may say you don't worship a God, but you worship something, whether you realize it or not. And then the way they explained it was, whatever.
It's God value. That was Mark Manson.
He talks about that too.
Right.
Yeah. He
God
talks about
value,
that too.
Mark Manson. Start with Why is a great book. Purpose-Driven Life is a great book on these topics. But I think the most simply that's ever been explained to me, that I guess maybe resonates the most with me, is that, what would I do if I was a billionaire? If tomorrow I woke up, I had all the money in the world, I think we've all said this before, like it would not dictate what we would do today. Like we would literally still, if I had all the money in the world, I would still do what I'm doing right now. Like that to me feels like I found my purpose because of that. It's because it's not about the money. Yes, we are building a business. Yes, we try and make money to pay employees and to pay our bills and do all those things because all those things are part of what makes this world go around. But if that didn't exist, would I still get up every morning and show up and meet up with these guys and talk about health and fitness and share this information with the world? 100% I believe I would. 100%. Therefore, I feel like I have found my purpose. And and I also think too sometimes, this seems to be a generational thing right now too, with the young generation that's coming up, that they're so desperate to find their purpose so early that you just might be ahead of your time right now. You don't like I don't know for sure that if you would have asked me at 23 that I would say what I knew my purpose was. And Gary Vee always says, eat shit for 9 years first. Like that's and that's kind of to Justin's point. Like do for others and spend a lot of time doing for others and working your ass off towards being a better version of yourself.
Be grateful, be humble, and do those things.
Yeah.
Work your ass off, help other people. You're not the center of the universe. You're just a person like anybody else, and just move forward like that. And you'll find, being humble oftentimes will reveal to you what your purpose is. Being kind of narcissistic and egoic oftentimes will hide what your true purpose is and maybe give you a false sense of purpose, one that'll drive you to doing things that are not really, fueling you in the right ways, And you see this a lot now. I mean, life is getting to the point where it's getting so easy. And I know I say this and some people get offended, like life is hard. And yes, it is. Life is very hard. But what I mean is easy in comparison to
having what you want.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like for a long time now, the average person in modern society is more likely to die from too much food than too little
look
food.
at the things that we intake the most: food, entertainment, and sex. And think of the evolution of those recently. I mean, you can swipe right and be having sex within 24 hours.
Oh, yep.
Now,
Yep.
I mean, that didn't
Easy access.
right? Food, we could literally right now get on our phones, have it delivered to us right away. Or we could pick up our phones out of our pocket and stream our favorite TV show right now. That has never existed in our lifetime. You've never seen something like that. So we are at a point where this question I think is going to come up more and more because of that exact your point you're making, Sal. Is that
automation and all that.
Have you ever
seen create new problems?
You ever seen that video where I think it's a professor and he has a jar and he's got big rocks, smaller pebbles, and then sand. And he fills the jar with sand, and then he says, "How many rocks can I fit in there now?" And the students are like, "Well, none." And he goes, "Okay, well, that's right." And he goes, "The sand represents entertainment and fun." And then he shows the pebbles and the rocks. And the big rocks are things like family, purpose, duty, God, whatever. And, the pebbles are like, it's those smaller values. And he goes, if you fill your jar with the big stuff first, there's always room to add sand. If you do it the other way around, you'll never find room for the bigger things. I thought that was a very powerful,
it's a good visual.
Powerful visual. And it's true. I mean, I think a lot of people walk around and their number one value of the day is, video games or, entertainment or, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. But if you place the other stuff ahead of that, you'll have time for that stuff too. You'll just find a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. That's the word I like is fulfillment. I like the word happy, because happy's fleeting. Like nobody's happy all the time. It's impossible. In fact, if people were happy all the time, it'd be fucking creepy. It would be like a bunch of jokers, walking around with smiles on their face like a scary movie. But fulfillment, feeling fulfilled. I've had moments like that where I've had moments that were just fucking fun, just incredibly fun, but they pale in comparison to the moments where like I'm sitting at the park and my kids are playing and it's not fun, but I get this feeling of like fulfillment. And I can't describe the
it's the most amazing. I mean, I had one of those moments just 2 nights ago and I don't know if you guys even remember. There was a moment where I was sitting with Katrina outside of our beach house. I'm watching all of you in the kitchen.
Oh, I saw this. You were smiling at us.
Yeah,
and I was like, what's he laughing at?
No, right? You probably thought that I was.
I have food on my face still.
But that's I live for that. I live for those moments of that together. The four of us in this room have created this. We created this environment, this opportunity that has allowed us to have a moment like that where we are all, there's no distractions around us at the time. We're enjoying each other's company and smiling and laughing and sharing. And it's just amazing to me. Like that is so valuable to me and means so much to me, more so than any of these other things that I think that give you this instant gratification, those are like now memory. Like I can look back to that, remember that moment, know that we created that for ourselves. So I don't know. I think that I think
I will say this: purpose is not a destination; it's a journey.
Right.
So if your purpose is something that you can attain one day, like okay, my purpose is to make $1 million, you're gonna have a rough fall down once you accomplish it. If you accomplish it. Purpose should be about the journey. That's where you learn everything anyway. Like the journey towards making $1 million. Mm-hmm. That's where you gain the skills and learn things. Purpose should be never ending. You never want to be at a point where Mark Manson talked about this, like when he hit his goal of selling however million books and he was depressed for a few months, like, oh, what do I do now?
Right.
This is why I think in many ways religion has been so effective for so many people. Because, like the ideal is perfection, right? Like, for example, in the Christian religion, Jesus, right? Like, nobody's ever accomplished that. Nobody's ever perfect like him.
But there's an example.
But yeah, exactly. And that's the goal. The goal is to constantly try and become closer to that perfection. And that'll drive you for the rest of your life. And that journey is going to be filled with lots of growth type of deal. So anyway, great question. I don't think we necessarily have the answer. I think that's a question that people have been trying to answer since the beginning of philosophy.
Yeah,
but
it's deep for sure.
I don't think it's one. I think it's one you should constantly be asking yourself, though. Definitely. And with that, go to mindpumpfree.com and download our guides. They're all absolutely free. You can also find us all on Instagram. You can find me at Mind Pump Sal. You can find Justin at Mind Pump Justin. You can find Adam at Mind Pump Adam.
Thank you for listening to Mind Pump. If your goal is to build and shape your body, dramatically improve your health and energy, and maximize your overall performance, check out our discounted RGB Super Bundle at mindpumpmedia.com. The RGB Super Bundle includes MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and MAPS Aesthetic. 9 months of phased expert exercise programming designed by Sal, Adam, and Justin to systematically transform the way your body looks, feels, and performs. With detailed workout blueprints and over 200 videos, the RGB Super Bundle is like having Sal, Adam, and Justin as your own personal trainers, but at a fraction of the price. The RGB Super Bundle has a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can get it now plus other valuable free resources at mindpumpmedia.com. If you enjoy this show, please share the love by leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and by introducing Mind Pump to your friends and family. We thank you for your support, and until next time, this is Mind Pump.